I think this is tough to call. I have faith in Trigger. It should be fine. I hope he's here. He's online. Ready, matey? I'll just ping him. Let me put myself... Get all the settings correct. A little bit of bonus Thursday Starcraft. We love it. I'll be covering all the Basilisk matches, guys. I won't be doing anything else, obviously, from the Team League, but I will be doing the Basilisk matches. It's also nice because then we have some YouTube content to post. There are people who live in very tiny bubbles and only follow YouTube channels or specific YouTube channels. This is an easy way for some folks to watch the games back that follow Basilisk, which makes me very happy. We are 1-0 in the Team League. Trigger versus Mana. No Clem today. I don't know why there is no Clem. Obviously, that's not a question for me. I am not a member of Team Liquid. I am surprised that Clem hasn't played yet in the Team League, because obviously Clem plays in so many things, if not almost everything. I don't think the group stage is going to be the biggest deal in the world, because I obviously have faith that we make it out. But if the first playday has taught us anything, it is never to count your chickens before they hatch. Because we were almost... we almost got swept. We were 0-3. I was in Korea. I don't know what the time was. Like 1 a.m. or something for me, 2 a.m. I was like, alright, I do have to work tomorrow, but let's just watch the boys. Let's just see if everything goes well. Then we were 0-1, okay. Then was 0-2. Then we were 0-3, and I was like, this is going to be a tough one to win. I still figured that we were going to be okay, because even if we would lose the first play day, I obviously have confidence in the boys that will make it to the playoffs and hopefully win it all. Playoffs is going to be very hard, but we should never go out in the group stage. But I was a tiny bit worried the first play day, I'm not going to lie. It's time for our second play day. It is time for the modern day El Clasico. I would say the old El Clasico of Team League battles was obviously Liquid versus EG. These days, I kind of feel like it's Liquid versus Basilisk. Here we go.
Let's get it on.
In the top left side, to kick things off for us, we are looking at the main base of our Canadian Protoss, who's playing from Korea. This game is played on US West, so we've got the minus server advantage. It is our very own Trigger from Basilisk. And in the bottom right side, not just a player, also a manager, also a team captain, content creator, streamer, YouTuber. The man does it all. He's beautiful, he's famous. He's been around since the very first day of Starcraft 2. And I have a lot of admiration for that. This is Mana. A while ago he actually said, you always call me a dinosaur. I was like, what do you mean, mate? I give you so much love. He's like, I know, Rotti. You actually give me too much love. You give me too much praise. And I was like, I don't think so. All the things I ever say about Mana that are positive, I generally mean. The fact that he's still as good as he is right now, while he made it to the finals of the first ever DreamHack StarCraft 2 tournament we had. Back then, a Mana versus Nama final. That was in 2010. The fact that he's still really freaking good at the game in 2026. I think he deserves all the love and all the credits I give him. And I like to root for him. Obviously, this time I'm not rooting for him. He knows that. That's just the way it goes. Just like I'm sure he gets along well with all the Basilisk members. But today, he's rooting for the Liquid boys. He's for the boys in blue. I'm for the boys in black, white, silver, green. Apparently we are playing in blue. Big slip up by Wardi. Liquid should always be in blue. 2-gate on the side of Trigger. Double Stalker opening versus Stalker Sentry. I personally think Stalker Sentry is a tiny bit better than Double Stalker. But obviously Double Stalker could lead into 3-gate Robo. Nama is still actually around because he was playing a lot of StarCraft over the Christmas holidays. He was grinding quite a bit. I think he peaked at 5.1 or 5.2k. So it's not bad, but obviously long ways off being the best Terran in Europe, which he once upon a time was when he won the DreamHack tourney. He was mostly just vibing, playing a bit of Mac, having fun, listening to Twitch chat. He did beat me with a cheeky one base all in, this bugger. But I haven't seen him stream too much lately, so I kind of feel like that was a short, like Christmas, New Year's period. And I think Nama is back to real life. Trigger has to be very cautious here, guys, because Sentries actually deal a surprising amount of damage against Stalkers. Obviously, he knows that. Especially if you get force fielded, you can very quickly lose a Stalker. But Trigger got his scout off. So getting a scout up with the Stalkers is nice. It's forcing your opponent to maybe build an early battery. While we skip out on the battery. It's like a very tiny little victory. And we do have a quicker Twilight Council. So we'll take that. I've been following it, Fjont. I always follow, matey. Even if I cannot watch too much StarCraft live. And obviously while I was in Korea I didn't watch too much StarCraft. But I watched our match and I opened Wardi's stream every now and then when I was laying in bed. Because the time zones like worked out well in that regard. When I'm getting ready to sleep I put on a little StarCraft stream. Sometimes some YouTube videos, sometimes something else. But and obviously I was checking to see how you guys were doing. But I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. The team league is stacked. I mean, all the big dogs are here. All the big dogs are representing their orgs. Or they've made some fun teams. Like, obviously, a lot of teams are made up. They're not officially representing, like, a paid esports org or any sponsors. But that doesn't take away the fact that they're all still very, very good. So Mana has to be very, very cautious here. Oh, this is a disaster for Mana. Total disaster. I think he loses 3 out of 4. One of them gets away. Oh, that's a massive pickup for our boy. Surprised to see Mana that far out and about with just 4 Stalkers. Way before he can get his hands on Blink. PvP is a very brutal matchup, guys. And I don't want to make it seem like this one is over and we've got it in the bag. But kind of looks a little bit over at this point. It is so hard to turn a PvP around when you lose 3 Stalkers and a recall. And you've got later Blink as well. Now with supply block 2 on the side of Mana. A phenomenal PvP out of Trigger. Obviously sometimes it doesn't take a lot of magic to get the job done in PvP. One good exchange, one good turn of events is sometimes all you need if you're doing the exact same thing. And even though they had different opening units, they are doing the same thing. So I feel very good about this. We may have this one in the bag. As long as we don't make like a very bad blink where we lose a few too many units that we really don't have to lose. But it's Mana who blinks first, so Trigger can still blink his Stalkers back one by one. Gets a 2-for-1 trade. We'll lose a few more here. Has to worry about the force field. This is a bit more painful than it perhaps ever had to be. I think we can get away with it because we've got a 7-worker lead. We've got a way quicker third base. Like, our third base is done while our opponent hasn't even wiped in a third nexus. We did lose a few more units there than we had to. I would like to see a few more gateways, by the way, too. Mana is supply blocked again, by the way, guys. 70 out of 70. He has now 3 pylons on the way. It is safe to say that the man from Team Liquid is just going to send it here. Right now, this should never work because the numbers are way too similar for defender's advantage, not to make the difference. It's also a little bit easier to micro your Stalkers defensively than it is offensively. But if Trigger goes out too far and he gets force fielded in, this can still get a tiny bit scary. And the force fields on the Immortal are excellent on the side of Mana. Okay, this game should have not been close, but it's now still getting a little bit close and it's still getting a bit scary. I like to think that we're totally okay. Mana could very well go for a big old blink into the main base. We'll donate 1 or 2 sentries. We'll trigger blink into his own main to save it. Losing power on 2 gateways would suck. All the probes get pulled. Snipe the Warp Prism maybe? I think we're gonna be okay. It is gonna be a bit hectic, sloppy, scary, messy. But Big Daddy the Immortal is here. Trigger blinks forward, kills the Warp Prism. Losing 6 probes and a bit of mining time is completely acceptable. When it's 3 bases versus 2. Felt like we made this one a tiny bit harder than it had to be after this phenomenal catch on the 4 Stalkers here. But it's all good. Trigger survives, base advantage, Blink versus Blink, Immortals. I would say, not a worry in the world. Maybe if Mana, instead of going for that move into the main base, what if he just keeps everything on the low ground and he tries to continue to drop some good force fields here, Guardian Shield. And the DPS of the sentries is really nothing to scoff at. It's so easy to underestimate the sentry. It's like, okay, they don't really matter, it's about the Stalker numbers. But if it just comes down to 2 armies moving into each other, sentries actually make a very significant impact on the outcome of most battles. But I think we're good. A very hefty, healthy supply lead on the side of Trigger. A monstrous worker lead. Army actually in favor of Trigger at this point as well. Even getting a couple of safety cannons. These are the... Okay, I'm so far ahead. The only thing I can lose to are DT's kind of cannons. We know he doesn't have to worry about DTs, but Trigger cannot see the entire map. Maybe worried that Mana had a Dark Shrine somewhere in the corner of his main, natural, or in the corner of the map. Force field's still annoying, but I think we're always fine here, especially because Trigger has excellent micro. We know he does. He could honestly blink across these force fields. I wouldn't hate it. That's exactly what he does. He's gonna get the War Prism again. He got one Immortal. He's gonna get the second one as well. And this is an unwinnable fight for Mana. There is no other way to put it. Mana is a legend, but he cannot out-micro Trigger to this regard. And that will do it. 1 for us, 0 for TL. We will take it. Solid start, clean start. Good stuff by Trigger. Let me go ahead and settle that prediction. And we'll get ready for the next one. And obviously I have to take a look at the... I did not see that one, Fiant. No. Next up is... Serral vs SKillous. So we go to the European server. That is how we do it. Was a game and a half? I believe it. Let me just make sure that I don't delay the team league. Yes, during the weekly, okay. You know, you're gone for 2 weeks. You're gone for 2 editions, and people suddenly don't wait for you anymore. There were 2 series that started without me being in the lobby, just because I alt-tapped and I was trying to set a prediction. So everybody could have some fun with the channel point prediction game. We're gonna make sure that doesn't happen today. Trigger wins. Get ready for the next one. Serral vs SKillous, best of 1. Let's not forget that not too long ago, guys, SKillous got a 3-0 victory over Reynor in the BBB. So SKillous is PvZ is obviously quite good. There's a lot of talk around PvZ, but of course we trust in Yona. We always trust in Yona. Really have to bring it up. Sorry, matey. I love you, but that's kind of my job. I have to hype up the players a little bit. I have to give them credit for their big W's. I'm not saying I was happy with it. I'm not saying I was looking fondly back at that night. But yeah, it was a good performance by SKillous. I'll make it up to you. You did get him at the Home Story Cup. So where Reynor and SKillous were in the same group, Reynor took down SKillous. Then they had to play rematches because we had a perfect 3-way tie. Reynor played against SKillous again. Reynor won that one as well. Then also got revenge on his teammate. But yeah, the BBB did not go his way. It's okay. Tomorrow night, baby. Tomorrow night, Reynor has another chance to win 200 buckies. Set the record straight. It's gonna be tough though. It's Big Gabe. And Big Gabe is an animal in TVZ. Hello, Statfest. That's tomorrow indeed. And hello, Aegis. Haven't seen you in a while, Aegis. I know that's because of me. I know I was gone, but it's fun to see the usual names show up again. Slowly but steady, we're getting back into the mix. No, I just need to make sure that I can actually play some Starcraft again as well. That would be nice. Even though if I play against 4 barcode PvPs in a row, I don't know if I stand by that statement. But the idea of playing some Starcraft and feeling comfortable and happy is kind of nice. Getting Smix back? What do you mean with Smixy? I mean, that's the last time that's... do you guys remember Smix? Is it Smix just Smix? Smix used to stop by every now and then. Yeah, Smix is just Smix. 113 messages. Last time was on my very special day, on the 23rd of May. The 23rd of May is my partner anniversary. On the 23rd of May 2012, Rotti became a Twitch partner. I know you guys will think, can be 2012. That doesn't sound right. Some of you guys were barely born in 2012, but it was 2012. Here we go.
Round 2. Fight!
Bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of our Russian Protoss, who of course has been living in the Netherlands for over 3 years at this point. We love him. I love having him. I know he's a hard-working man. I have a lot of love and respect and admiration for this kid. It is a SKillous. And in the top right side, who doesn't love him? Just a goat, no big deal. Representing Basilisk when I presented the suggested match order for this one and our next match tomorrow. There was a lot of Yona. And Yona responded, whoa, that's some serious showtime for me. I was like, come on, mate. It's a couple 1v1s, a couple 2v2s. You can do it. He's like, I don't know. My average game length these days is 30 minutes. Let's see if this one is going to be 30 minutes as well. Representing Basilisk, it is Serral. The world ended in 2012. We're living in a simulation now. If I think back of 2012, I'd say that was a pretty fun year. 2012 was the year that we had BWI, right, in China. So we didn't have a BlizzCon, but we did have BWI, Blizzard Worldwide Invitational, or the Battle.net Seasonal Championships. Harding becoming the world champion in that year. It was a good year. It is the year that I also moved to America. No, wait. Yeah. Okay, I lied. I got pardoned in 2013. Didn't I? No, it was 2012 actually. I'm very confused now. Have to double check. I mean, we can figure it out. When did I make my account? Sorry, I'm confused. Was it 2012 or I feel like it was in 2012. My account, yeah, my account was made in 2011. I started streaming in it. It was 2012. So 2 months into my stay in America, I got partnered. That's kind of quick. In my mind, I started streaming a bit later. Old man getting forgetful. To be fair, we're thinking of dates 14 years ago. I think I'm allowed to make a little mistakey there. Was that the year that Combat X went crazy at the worldwide event? I don't think Combat X was at the BWI, but Combat X or Deezer, but I think it was Combat X, did go to the World Cyber Games in Busan. But I want to say that that was 2011. World Cyber Games in Busan, I think, is 2011. I was there. It was fun. It's my only time that I ever went to Busan, but it was a great city. Hmm. 2011 doesn't seem right. For World Cyber Games it was. There was also World Cyber Games in 2010. And 2009. 2008. I don't know when WCG stopped. It was a really fun event. In my days. Like if you really want to go down history path. In my Warcraft 3 days, World Cyber Games was the event of the year. It was our esports World Cup. It was our BlizzCon. Even if we had a BlizzCon in Warcraft 3 too. And it was very prestigious. But World Cyber Games was truly the event. It started losing a bit of its shine, I would say, in like 2010. And this became a bit smaller and it was kind of all over the place. 2008 in Cologne was a truly magical event. 2009 was in Chengdu in China, was also really cool. Yeah, I think 2010 was the first World Cyber Games for Warcraft 3 that didn't really feel like the event anymore. And if I'm not wrong, that was in Los Angeles back then. Now, I don't know, Brabba. I am as surprised as a lot of you guys are to not see Clem in this lineup. Then again, Clem also did not play in the previous matches for Team Liquid. I am, of course, not a member of Team Liquid, and that is not a question that I can really answer. You guys can always try Mana's stream or Clem's stream whenever he's live, or tweet at him. I have no idea why Clem is not playing. Thank you, Jay, for the 21 months, matey. I appreciate it. We've got a lair that's halfway done for Serral. We've got a Roach one on the way. The Helmet Zerg, obviously very safe. This map, Celestial Enclave, can be a bit tricky for Zergs to figure out what exactly they're going up against. But Serral has seen the Void Ray. Serral has seen the Oracle. He's going to make sure that this Stasis Rep does not connect in a big way. And it won't. So far, so good. Obviously, when I think of this map, I think the same goes for a lot of you guys out there. You think back of like the matches that Reynor played against Hero at the Thunderfire All-Star Invitational. And quite a few Korean Protosses, they really love this double Stargate, very turtly Skytoss style. And I always feel like it looks kind of bad for the Protoss, and then the Protoss always wins. I'm not exactly sure why that is. But SKillous is not going down that route. There is a small chance that Serral may have thought he would go down that route, because we are, you know, playing relatively passive, just taking bases, and we're dropping a Spire. Seeing that this gas has not been taken, I wonder what will happen to the Spire. Like, we may just not use the Spire at all. We may even cancel it, guys. We may even cancel it. For now, we are not canceling it. This is not a Muda moment. When you're playing against the Protoss that's got a crazy amount of gateways and is most likely gonna go for Blink Stalkers, knowing that a couple of Stalkers are already out on the map. I think Serral can put 2 and 2 together. We're just gonna let that Spire be for what it is, but I'd be mega surprised if we see any Mutalisk on the production tab anytime soon. Obviously, what Serral needs here are battle units. Serral needs units that can stand and fight with the Blinky Boys, or at least make life very hard on the Blinky Boys. A little bit of a misblink here on the side of SKillous, who has made it into the back of the natural of Serral. Serral does have vision here because of the creep tumor, so this does not come as a surprise. Took out the stasis trap with a corrosive ball. This is definitely going to be uncomfortable for Serral and annoying, and a wise man once said, the micro is going to be crucial here. And that is most certainly true. But I don't think Serral is mega worried. I think this is annoying, frustrating, and you have to respect it and you have to be cautious. I was gonna say, I like to think that Serral's got, you know, the right build, the right amount of units, the right mix at this point to deal with it. We did kind of drop a corrosive out there on a couple of our own Zerglings, which is a little bit annoying, unfortunate. Those were some better corrosive balls as they actually connected with the Stalkers. SKillous is just like hard sending it, guys. 57 probes. We've got +1. He's adding in more gateways. He is getting +1 armor and he's getting Zealot charge as well. But he is not showing any signs of going up to 4 bases or even a real 3rd base, because obviously the pocket expand is a bit of a half a base. I don't think so far. Okay, SKillous has not lost a unit yet. That looks very cute, right? This looks beautiful. But that doesn't really mean that he's winning. I do like the idea of showing all the Stalkers on creep and then actually using the War Prism to get a couple of Zealots into the main base. This is kind of cute, but can this army survive without any War Prism support? I highly doubt it. Serral highly doubts it, as he's going to make a dive for it. That's a lot of corrosive balls. Does not kill the Oracle with a Prism. Did do some damage to the Stalkers. I think in the end it's so far so good for Serral. And we are going to use the Spire, guys. It's been a little while, but this is the moment where Serral feels confident enough in the amount of Ravages that he has, the sheer amount of Zerglings that are out, and a couple of Roaches in the mix, that he can start building some Mutas. And what the Mutas will be very nice at is putting some pressure on this Prism, either killing it or forcing it to be recalled immediately. I do think that's kind of the only real purpose that the Mutas will serve for now. When our opponent has 30 Stalkers with 1/1 upgrades and Blink on the map, it's a bit unlikely that these Mutas will find crazy damage. Thank you, Jommers, for the 24 months, matey. I appreciate it. Mutas is still gonna try. So we're gonna ignore the Prism for now. SKillous has a big army in the top left side. SKillous is going to recall just a couple Stalkers. Definitely not all of them, but he will recall a couple. And that will allow Serral to maybe find a few stray Stalkers in the middle of the map. Link's looking for this around. Stalkers running away like my Paradox is running away from a big bad Abrams with way too many green items. I mean, so far this kind of feels that it's all good enough for Serral. Serral hasn't found a slam dunk victory, but Serral got tested and obviously passed the test with flying colors the way that he usually does. And he's just kind of getting further and further ahead. There is still that War Prism to maybe worry about, but SKillous' economy, without like being too harsh, it's just kind of dreadful. 58 probes on 2.5 bases. SKillous desperately needs to get his hands on this low ground Nexus. Without the low ground Nexus, he really doesn't have much life in this game. Looking for his lifeline, his Nexus is gonna get cancelled. Say maybe our one saving grace on the side of the Protoss is you get a couple sentries, you wait for +2, you wait for those 2 Colossus, you max out and you send it. Kind of feel like that's the best thing you can hope for here. But how likely is it that one maxed out army is going to be good enough to take down Serral? I think it's very unlikely. This War Prism will get denied as well. Serral said in the Discord his average game time right now is 30 minutes. I'd be very surprised if this game goes on for longer than 15. I think Yona lied to us, guys, because this is not going to be a 30-minute game. Will there be a stream tomorrow evening? Absolutely. Tomorrow is BBB, and I like to think it's a very good BBB, because it's one big Zerg party tomorrow night. We've got Fjont against Swordov as a battle for who is the finest Swedish player of them all. So a little ZVZ. Then we have young Jakob versus Christiane. $125 on the line for the winner. I think it's a good match. And our main event is Hero Marine versus Reynor. You know, that's pretty good. You know, it's also good, guys, having 40 Banelings crashing into Colossus, Stalkers, Mutas in the mix as well. This fight is straight box art, as units are all over the place. And I gotta say, SKillous has done a pretty decent job in keeping a couple of the key units alive. Keeping the Nexus alive now as well. It was good by SKillous, but because he's so broke, I'm afraid that good is not good enough. I think SKillous needs amazing. I don't know if it was amazing. Banelings! Banelings! Getting 3 workers. Serral has lost 1700 resources more in this game. Completely acceptable, considering the fact that he's been mining a lot more. Even got his hands on the rich Vespian geyser. We're gonna go for it again. This is kind of it for SKillous. SKillous knows it. It is now or never, and it's starting to just feel like it is never, as there are Banelings for days. There will be Ultras on the way as well in the near future. SKillous has fantastic micro and is doing a really good job with that War Prism, with the Colossus. He is doing his absolute best, but he's fighting an uphill battle. We're sweeping leaves on a windy day, and a tornado has just made it to land. And SKillous has bags and bags full of leaves. So it feels like it's not going to make a difference. We had Elaser in the BBB not too long ago. Take a little look at it. But I did ask him for this Friday too, mate. But Elaser was not available. I asked him, but he was not available this Friday. Maybe next Friday. This army for SKillous, I think, is going to be his Waterloo. There is no way to save it this time around. The War Prism was just warping in a couple of Zealots, while Serral had a run by distracting SKillous at the bottom side of the map. It is like a little bit closer right now than I thought it ever would be. Maybe it's the attack upgrades for SKillous making the difference, but 80 supply against 150 obviously tells the tale. GG gets called. Basilisk 2. Team Liquid 0. Very good start for the boys so far. We'll take it. Strong game by Yona. Had to go up against a weird build, and I think at first he was not totally certain what it was going to be, but he obviously had more than enough units. Had a good read on it, dealt with all of it, and we took it down. I don't know what's happening over here. I gotta, we have to go back to NA, guys. Go back to NA. Somebody whispered me on Battle.net saying, do you remember that one time you made fun of somebody's username? That was so funny. Like, no, I really don't. Unless we're talking about the Zerg underpowered guy. Maybe it's him, but it wasn't so much the username that I made fun of. It was the one rule that I have, outside of not being a total dick, is don't balance wine too much. And of course, we were balance whining. Alright, it's 2v2 time, guys. Let me settle that prediction quickly. So far, so good. We were... Maybe the boys just needed me to be home, right? Have you considered that Zerg is underpowered? I think it is a fine statement, even though I don't know if I would totally agree. But the statement itself is fine. But forming our entire Twitch identity around Zerg being underpowered, that one is a bit questionable. So Serral gets the job done. It's 2v2 time. Let me just double check, guys. So we're up 2-0. Getting closer and closer to those playoffs already. Serral, Trigger versus Cure and SKillous. Serral and Trigger versus Cure and SKillous. It's been a long time since I've casted a 2v2, by the way. Cure, SKillous, Liquid. I'll give you guys 10 minutes for this one. I mean, I don't remember the fine details, Sep. I just remember that he was a little bit upsetty that I called him out and I made fun of him. But I was also a little bit upsetty that he was balance whining. And when two people get a bit upsetty, sometimes tensions rise, things get a bit heated. But no, that's not something I think back of every single day. There are other moments that have taken place on Twitch over the last 13, 14 years that I do think back of. And I'm like, man, I handled that bad. Or I was amazing, you know, it's one of the two. There's obviously a few things. It'd be very weird if you've never done anything wrong or anything you're not very proud of if you've been streaming for over 10,000 hours. If you guys can find someone, show him to me. I'd love to learn from her or him. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have some bad days. Life is stressful. You guys know all about that. Sometimes life is easy. Rainbows, butterflies, good vibes. And it kind of just feels like everything is coming your way. And some days you're just kind of angry at the world. Some days even pie annoys me. I love pie. Like I genuinely love pie. If I would get married, I would invite pie. But some days, he tilts the shit out of me. It happens. Rotti, why you never cast finals in big tournaments? I have casted a lot of finals of big tournaments, matey. But if you're referring to some of the recent ones over the last few years, it's mostly I won't cast them if Tastosis is there because they always do the finals. They won't come unless they do the finals. This is kind of set in stone. And obviously a lot of fans love it when they do the finals, right? Because there are some diehards on Twitch that may say like, oh, I love Piggy, or I love Wardi, or I love Zombie Grub, I love Rotti, I love Steadfast, Fear Dragon. But the general audience that doesn't spend too much time on StarCraft, they will always love Tastosis as the number one. So obviously that makes some sense. Some of the Katowices over the last, like, let's say 3 editions where they weren't there, I could have done the finals, but I passed on it. Like, they even asked me. But I just thought, like, I've already done so many grand finals, and I generally always enjoy working on the desk. Like, I take pride. I know a lot of people walk away when the desk segments are on or they find it boring. But I've always taken some pride in the desk work, trying to be useful, trying to come up with a fun story and do some good storytelling to get people extra excited. And on top of that, I've already done so many finals that I thought it would be very nice to pass on the finals cast to people that haven't done that many finals yet. And it would mean something to them. And I think they're all very deserving. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Wardi or Pig or Zombie Grub. I think they're all very, very, very deserving of doing a big grand finals offline. I'm from Uruguay. I've never gone to Uruguay, mate, but I hope to visit one day. Uruguay seems like a cool country to visit. I know so little about Uruguay and Paraguay, but I feel like if you ever find yourself there, you're probably going to have a great time. What about BlizzCon Classic Cup? Will that have a final? That's a good question. I basically know as much right now as you guys know, as what was publicly announced. I really don't know finer details. But then there's also like some things that they say like, oh, you can talk about this. So then I won't talk about it. But I really don't know too much about it. I don't think it really has the traditional tournament setup. I think the Blizzard Classic Cup is more... Obviously, Tasteless and Artosis are the team captains, right? So I guess they form a roster. And then those guys will play against each other. Maybe the final is like the decider of like who is the winning team. Who is the winning captain. But I'm still guessing a little bit when it comes to the Blizzard Classic Games Cup. I am certain that the matches that will be there are awesome. And I'm excited for it. But there's also one thing that I'm like a tiny bit less excited for. And that is that as much as I understand how it's really freaking cool to have like heroes from the past show up and play some games and entertain you guys. And, you know, we can all close our eyes and pretend it's 2014. And whoever it's going to be, I really don't know the player. So I can just guess like you guys. But whether it's Flash or J-Dung or MMA or Polt or whatever. I think it's really cool to see these guys play. But I also feel like it's a shame that the guys that are still going hard in this modern day and age, the year is 2026, and we still have guys grind each and every single day. You still have young kids trying to get better. The fact that, you know, they get passed upon for Legends of the Past, even if I understand it from an entertainment point of view, value, like it makes me a little bit sad. Because I also have always loved the idea that BlizzCon is open for everyone, that everyone can make it to BlizzCon, and that we get to see the very best players in the world. So it goes two ways, but you know, maybe this is just the start of something more awesome in the future. Who knows? Here we go, guys. Reclamation is our 2v2 map. I know nothing about this map. What I do know is that the boys are in blue. On the bottom side, it's Liquid Cure. And the bottom right side, I believe he's found a lot of success in Uthermal's 2v2 circuit, so he's probably really good in 2v2. It is SKillous. Top left side, it's our very own Basilisk Serral, already getting the job done in his 1v1. And our very own Basilisk Trigger. Both of the guys had already won their 1v1, so they've got some winning momentum on their side. This is probably a very tough one. Terran Protoss overpowered, I read it in the chat earlier. I don't know if I can trust you guys. I really don't feel very strong about my 2v2 knowledge. I just want to come very clean on that regard. I can obviously watch and use my regular SC2 expertise on who I think is winning based on what I see. But knowing where things are going to go, you guys will probably have a lot more knowledge about 2v2 than I do. So I need help, chat. You guys need to help me, because I don't know what's going to happen. And of course, you guys can have your own opinion. In the end of the day, the most important thing I think that we can all be very happy about is that there will be Starcraft 2 at BlizzCon. Like, I think that's awesome. The idea that a lot of people will once more tune in to see, hopefully, some of our current legends play as well, and then some of our legends in the past. And perhaps it will get people really excited to see, like, oh, okay, I know these guys from the past. They watch them play. It's like, oh, Starcraft is cool. And then they might watch a match of our modern day and age gods, whether that's Serral, Clem, Maru, Hero, doesn't matter, right? Like, whoever gets there. And they'll be like, holy smoke, Starcraft 2 is still really cool, and it's cooler than ever before. Like, that's my dream. Is that a bit of a pipe dream? Is that wishful thinking? Probably, but let a man dream, you know? Alright, I have to keep track of a lot of builds here. It's a bit confusing for me that these guys are at the bottom, but they're at the top of the production tab. So it makes it kind of hard for me to figure out who's doing what. Seems like Cure is gearing up some serious aggression as he's doing the old school Ryang from Katowice. A barracks into an expand factory and 2 more barracks. So delayed starport, but a lot of battle units. And our man SKillous is just going for a quick expand, couple of gateways, Twilight Council. Trigger has a way quicker blink, just like he had quicker blink in his 1v1 against Mana. Can I see the worker counts? Yeah. Which tab would you guys like me to have open while I'm watching this? Somebody asked if the matches are live. Yes, to my best knowledge, all the matches today are live. I don't think any of my players have requested to play earlier. The first 2 matches obviously were live because I was in the lobby. This one is live because I'm in the lobby. I'm not aware of any match not being live today. Is the streamer live? No, this is actually pre-March Rotti. This is before I spend another month of my life in Jeju. I recorded this in February, and that's why I'm not that fat yet from all the Korean barbecue that I'm going to devour over in Korea. So no, you guys are watching a slightly more pretty version of me than what I actually am. But the games are live. 3 more gateways on the way for our man from Team Liquid. So SKillous is going very heavy on the gates. He's not worried about getting a robo. Taking a tiny look at the worker counts. It seems like it's kind of just all-out macro for now. Serral's even a double evolution chain berserky, guys. We got +1 melee and +1 carapace on the way. Can you just show that carrier statue close? I cannot read. Can I just? No, I mean, I'm 5 minutes into a 2v2, mate. I cannot turn around and pick up carrier statues and bring them closer. But you can convince me to do it after the 2v2 is done and I'm in the lobby for the next game. To make sure that I don't miss an invite. Because I can totally see myself turning around, lifting up the statue and spinning it around a couple times in front of my very crappy webcam. And then I miss the lobby invite for the next 1v1. And I'll be very annoyed. So we're not going to do that. Very passive so far. We lost a Reaper, we lost 2 Adepts that tried to kill a couple workers early, and 10 Zerglings have gone down. Not the 2v2s that I remember seeing. A lot of the 2v2s that I watched in the past, it was kind of like all out chaos immediately from the very get-go. The big carrier statue is not from Blizzard, because Blizzard didn't make them. A website called Dark Horse Direct made the big statues. Big battle cruiser over there, big broodlord over here, big carrier over here. But they were all limited edition and they were all sold out immediately. So you can't buy them unless you find an individual that wants to sell the one that he has. Or she has. Couple of stalkers dying there on the side of Trigger. Didn't really get much in return for it. I'm a bit worried, guys. I'm a little bit worried because it kind of feels like this army of the Team Liquid boys is going to hit like a Volvo truck. And anybody who has spent any amount of time in Sweden and got hit by a Volvo truck, well, you wouldn't be here. Because those things hit hard. Don't get hit by trucks, guys. Avoid them. Be safe. A lot of Zerglings counterattacking. The links of Serral on the other side of the map are most certainly going to cook. But is there a world that our boys can deal with this many Marines, this many Stalkers, and tank support on the low ground? I'm incredibly worried about that. We do have Zealot charge on the side of Trigger. Trigger really doesn't have too many units. It seems like most of the links actually got dealt with by a defensive warpin. And maybe a couple of units popping out of the barracks. Is this the first Team Liquid victory? Or can Serral pull off a truly magnificent hold with the 1-1 Zerglings? We are making our way through the tanks. We are making our way through the Zerglings. Probes are getting pulled as well on the side of Trigger. Did we hold? This is such a sick hold if we held. I mean, Trigger is down a lot in supply. Still has workers. Just has no units. But Serral, his links, guys, are about to get... well, in the near future... They're gonna get their hands on +2 melee and +2 carapace. Yona is an absolute animal. I mean, that's no Niels, we know that. We have seen that before. 61 drones and a crazy amount of well-upgraded links. Is it the trio lead for Basilisk in this group stage clan war? The modern day El Clasico versus Liquid. Or does Liquid get one on the board as well? Serral continues to be active, looking for some pickups. Is not gonna get the Marines, as Kieran's paying attention, but will deny the Warpin pylons. So we're going to go for it once more. We don't quite have that magical +2 melee, +2 carapace yet. But we do still have a decent amount of links. And if links get surface area on the Stalkers, what a hold. Oh my goodness, this is such a sick hold. If we hold. We're almost there. Oh, we're more than halfway there. We're going to get a sentry as well. Can we warp in? I don't know. A force field, the Guardian Shield, energy recharge. Serral has 22 extra links on the way. Trigger is obviously not working with a lot, but neither is Skillous. It is just a couple Stalkers. This is a great moment for the links to just go for it. As the moment Skillous blinks in, he cannot blink away for quite some time. And by the time he can finally blink away, he has lost most of his units. I kind of think we've done it. I want to say we've done it, but there's Liberators in the mix as well. That's problematic. But obviously Trigger's got some Stalker production. We've got a couple of Zealots. These are slow warpins, and slow warpins are so painful. Oh my goodness, I'm so impressed. What a hold. How on earth did we hold this? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Man, that's so sick. That's actually just so sick. I can't believe they held. Serral lost 267 links. Having to deal with that many Stalkers. A lot of Marines, obviously, tank support, medevac support, and that big fight started while Serral had, give or take, 30-40 Zerglings on the other side of the map. First killing this base, then we ran into the mineral lines, but eventually we got deflected, we got dealt with. That was a very impressive hold. Well done, guys. 3-0. Oh my goodness, we're cooking. We are absolutely cooking. I can just completely hide it, but thanks for letting me know, Essex Romeo. I had an eye on it, but I missed that. To me, it looked good, but I will just completely remove the camera for the 2v2s. That will probably look better. Let me take a quick look. What is next? I don't want to have a delay. Trigger Cure. So we go to Korea. 3-0, guys. I mean, we did lose against Liquid in the finals of the Crank TV Invitational. I was a bit sad because Trigger was traveling back then to Canada. And we found out rather late, so we couldn't have a replacement. And then I had to play. And that's obviously a total disaster in this day and age. Why are you not commentating Triton, Rotti? I did, mate. I did Triton 1 for 11 days straight. I was gone forever. It's just that they used me for Triton 1. But I'm not qualified enough to do the Triton Super High Roller Series. But maybe one day. They did say that if Henry couldn't have made it to Korea, they would have kept me around. But Henry did make it. But I know that Kevin Rabichow can't make it to the next one. So there's a tiny chance that they ask me, but I don't know. I'm happy with just doing Triton 1 for now. I feel like that's my place in life, and you have to work your way up, right? I have to get better. I have to put in some more work. Let me just settle the prediction and do the next one. But I was very happy with the 11 days of commentary I did do. Serral trigger. Correct. A little 5-minute prediction, guys. So it's Trigger versus Cure, best of 1. Canadian P, Cure, Korean P, T. 5 minutes. Need to start learning that look a bit. If you've got some time to get into a new game, Von Roe, I do definitely recommend it. It really is very fun. If you switch to WCS 3.0, it's a better interface for 2v2. Yeah, I believe it's Setfest, but then I have to... Like, you're switching servers, and then every single game, when you do a 2v2, 1v1, 2v2, 1v1, you have to go back and forth. I feel like that will be worth it for an entire 2v2 broadcast, but if you just do, like, 2 little best of ones of 2v2, I don't know if it's really worth switching the overlay. It's fun to play, but I'm way too confused about the phases of the game and builds and jungle stuff. If you want to play a game after this clan war with me, Von Roe, I'll take a look at my clock. Since our boys are kind of speed running it, we can do that. Just you, me, I'll hop on voice, I'll talk you through. We'll lane together, we're gonna have a great time. I can't win with Pi, but I believe I can win with you, Von Roe.
Round 4. Fight.
Top right side of Tourmaline. He is trying to keep the hopes and dreams alive of Team Liquid. Now, of course, I expect them to do well in this league, and they should be able to make it into the playoffs as well. They did have a 5-1 victory over the Russian lineup, where we were down 0-3 and turned things around. They got a convincing W. So if they lose today to us, it's obviously not the end of the world, but I'm sure that they want to put up a bit of a fight and make it closer. Trying to make it closer is this man, representing Liquid. It is Cure. Bottom left side, very strong showing, almost per usual these days, by our Canadian, winning his 1v1, winning the 2v2. Can he get a perfect hat-trick?
Round 3.
Wrong button. Can he get a perfect hat-trick?
Hat-trick.
Representing Basilisk is our Canadian. It's Trigger. So Leroy, I actually really enjoy it. Not everyone will. I cannot go out on a limb and say like, hey guys, that look is super fun just to play by yourself. Because a lot of people will just not agree with that statement. But that's obviously fine. Like, it is fun for me. But I also completely understand that it's not fun for many other gamers out there. That they will say like, oh, I don't want to deal with angry people. I don't want to deal with, you know, people not working together or shouting at one another. I legitimately have a good time, even if there are some frustrations. But there's only one way to truly say how it is for you, and that is having to try it for yourself. Clem is still playing for Liquid. There's definitely not been any announcement that Clem is no longer a part of Team Liquid. But it is very surprising that he hasn't played for them yet. Not in the previous play days and not today. But I am obviously not a Team Liquid spokesperson or representative, so I can't tell you guys the ins and outs. But no official statement has been made that Clem is not on Liquid. That I can tell you. As a member of this scene and somebody who likes to stay up to date to the best of his abilities, I can tell you that that is most certainly not an announcement that I have missed. Is getting blamed by the team really worse than always blaming yourself in SC2? That depends, mate. I have to admit that some people in Deadlock are truly world class in being annoying. And that can actually feel pretty bad. But I always take it with a smile. Even if I'm a bit frustrated in the heat of the moment, most of the time I'll take it with a smile. I'm happy that I also have Starcraft to fall back to, where people in general are a lot nicer to each other. I know there are some exceptions out there, but like 99% of the interactions are very pleasant and kind. I just got here who played the first 3 games. You can do !B or !bracket, mate, to just look back at it. And also the order was listed by that comment, so you can go over it. But yeah, we won all 3. Serral 1 versus SKillous. We won at 2v2. The 2v2 was definitely the closest one so far. And Trigger got a PvP victory over Mana. This is the 4th match. It's a must-win game for Liquid. So the opening, obviously you guys have eyes. It's been a lot of Reapers and Hellions. I always struggle going up against this. Trigger had a pretty good scout. Went for the double Adept, which is a little bit unusual. Was able to at least shave off one Hellion, but that also meant that he lost one of the Adepts. And he is going to take a bit of an economic beating here. The Hellions are doing their thing in the natural, and I will show that to you, but it got dealt with. 2 Reapers still alive. You know, it's not bad on the side of Trigger, to be fair. Losing only 3 workers there against the Hellion and 3 Reapers into your main base when you're a bit out of position and you have no shield batteries. Like, I can have a shield battery there and still lose 3 workers, so I think that was quite okay. We are supply blocked. Never too nice. I have to wait for this pylon to finish up. When are we gonna play a game together, Sep? I've never played with you. I heard that Fiont is getting you into it. It's nice to know that I am now supporting a Deadlock player instead of a Starcraft 2 player financially. Yeah, Giga addicted? It is a very addictive game. Maybe we can do a game P. Very good defense here by Trigger against the Widowmine. So far so good, guys. 5 minutes in. We are flying today. We are absolutely flying. Spoke too soon. We lose 2 probes, but it's still good. 1 mine for 2 probes, and the other probe has fire. We don't have to worry about it. Little bit surprised to see that Trigger is taking this Nexus instead of this one. Maybe it's because he knew that those Reapers were still kind of controlling that space, and they would just snipe the worker. Losing all this mining time does sting a little, but in the end the Stalkers will of course take care of these Reapers. 1 more shot will do it. What can we get done here? That's a beautiful base by Cure. Kudos to this base, guys. Kudos to this base. And it's a lovely spot to drop the Stalkers in the dead zone. Blinks away as well from the slow Marines. No stim for a very long time. This was an excellent way for Trigger to take care of that first tank and create a bit of space for himself where he can continue to find more damage. The Raven got brought back. We're not gonna kill it. Or will we kill it? Is there a will we kill it? It'd be very crazy to blink for it. We won't blink for it. But we almost killed it. You remember joining HOTS games and someone telling me that the hero I should have... You know, in Deadlock, that's fortunately not really a thing. And it's one of the things that I truly love about Deadlock. There are heroes that are obviously known for support, but you can still kind of play them in your own way. Like, I definitely don't buy all the support items that some other people do on certain heroes. But you can be very legit and you can be very impactful by just playing your hero in a unique and in your favorite way. Just because a hero can be a great support doesn't mean you have to play it as a support. And that's one of the things that I like about the game. You think Trigger might be a tier 1 player now? I totally agree that he's a tier 1 player. In my eyes, anybody that makes it to the grand finals of the biggest event of the year. Last year, of course, that was the Esports World Cup. There are 16 players worldwide that made it. Trigger was one of them. I think at that point you're elite. Now, I know some haters will say, yeah, but he made it through NA, and NA is the weakest region. I think Trigger does more than enough against everybody else that's not part of the NA region too, to make him qualify as a top 16 player in the world. Cure cannot lose that Raven. Cure knows that he cannot lose this Raven. Now, for all the compliments we're giving Trigger, this is still going to be difficult, guys. Cure may be pretty all in, but being all in, if you can win the game, is not bad. But the boys are not here yet. Trigger's going to blink forward, snipes the tank, snipes the Widowmine. Will obviously lose a couple Stalkers, will lose a Zealot. Is killing a lot of stuff on the other side of the map. This is going to be maybe as close as that Hero vs Clan game from last Monday. And that was an absolute beauty. Unfortunately, I was not in that lobby, but holy smokes, was that game close. Right now, I would say, I think it's doable for Trigger. Very, very difficult, but I think it's doable. It comes down to these Widowmine shots. If they do some friendly fire, life is great. They won't do friendly fire. They actually kind of kill the Immortal immediately, and now I'm not certain if it's doable anymore. Is Cure keeping the dreams of Team Liquid alive of a reverse sweep? It's a slow warp-in. I hate slow warp-ins with a passion. This is not the fight for Zealous, guys. They're going to have to make their way through the Nexus and the Forge. It's a bit of a choke point. Good job in dodging the Widowmine shot. And more SCVs are continuing to fall everywhere we look. I just don't know if the Trigger can ever clean up these remaining bio units. Medevac support for days. We are microing Stalkers right now in like 2-3 different angles. is very impressive. Oh my goodness, it's so freaking impressive. Unfortunately, we do eat that Withermine shot to the face. That is less impressive. 5 zealots right now would make such a big difference near these shield batteries. But we went from 8 stalkers down to 3. We lose high ground vision. For a split second there, guys, we lost high ground vision and it messed up the aim move. No, I don't think it's doable. A very valiant effort. And Trigger made me a believer for a split second. But I don't think this one is doable. Very close though. Very, very, very close. I like the way we just kind of went for it at first. We were still battling. Never count out a Protoss, but we've lost a lot of workers. And then we don't have like the armor upgrade kicking in anytime soon. The final Propoi is quite good though. We've got 1 Zealot in the mix as well. I mean, this is really just coming down to the wire. They're both pulling out all the stops. We're picking up individual Marauders. We are dragging Withermine shots into the Terror units. We're pulling the workers. Microing Stalkers like our life depends on it. But it's just a little too much Terror. Very clean micro on the side of Cure. A couple of times, guys, he really had picture perfect pickups on those Marauders, on those Marines even, dodging the projectiles. And obviously not allowing the Withermines to soften up his own army. It was close, it was competitive, it was feisty. But after 11 minutes, Game 4 of this Clanbar in the group stage of the WardiTV Team League Season 10. Been on the hiatus for many years, but it's back. Seems like this one will go towards the man in blue. And that man is Pure. Trigger played well. Showed us once more that he is more than just competitive with these guys. Fortunately, yeah. The 2-base all in. Difficult. Hits hard. And it truly is over. The final warp in is not going to make the difference. Trigger knows that. GG gets called. Cure gets 1 on the board. As the score now goes to 3-1. Liquid is on the board. We are still in a very comfortable lead. It is only group stage. Obviously, no team is going to get eliminated here. Fun battle. Was close. Competitive. But in the end, just a little too much on the side of Cure. Are you live, bully? That seems like a man who is not watching the stream live anymore, guys. Just barely not enough. Hey, we're on Wikipedia right now. Round 4 is Reynor SKillous. The rematch. The rematch of the Home Story Cup. The rematch of the BBB. This is going to be fun. And of course, the 2 guys that lived together for more than a year, basically, over in beautiful Zoetermeer. I don't know if Reynor thinks it's beautiful, but Trigger thinks, SKillous thinks it's beautiful. Cure gets 1 on the board. I'll give you guys a new prediction. Reynor versus SKillous. Best of 1. Pacing of this clan has been mega quick, by the way. Italian Zorgi. SKillous is our Russian-Dutch Protoss. I look forward to truly claiming SKillous as one of our own. By the way, big thank you to Andy. I don't know if I thanked you earlier, mate. 33 minutes ago, we got biddies. I love biddies, mate. I absolutely love biddies. So easy to misclick on the progress bar. Yeah. Are we live, bully? Are we live? Especially because Twitch didn't have this for so long, right? And now it is suddenly a thing. It is very easy to like accidentally click on something that in the past would have done nothing, and now suddenly you're watching 10-15 minutes in the past. We would always play, by the way, Allison. Whether or not... Oh wait, where am I? I have to be on Europe. Yeah. Even if it's 4-0, the remaining matches will be played. Did they go without me? No, right? Tell me they didn't go without me. No. I was the last one to join. I was on the wrong server. Still live, by the way, just for the people who are doubting if I'm telling the truth, even though I have absolutely zero reason to ever lie to you guys. And I can solely swear on my mother's grave that I've never lied about a game being live or not live. There is a lobby. There is a countdown. We're all here. You don't understand? You voted Cure? I think I settled the prediction correctly. I don't know if I did. Remind me, by the way, that after this match is over, we'll do 2v2. That I have to remove my camera, so you guys won't miss out on some of the useful information. I'm new to this. I haven't casted 2v2 in years. Just completely forgot. I apologize. 1 for Liquid, 3 for us. Here we go. I don't have a round 5. I do have final round.
Final round. Fight!
It's never the final round, but it could be the final round to determine the winner of this clan war. Top right side, Old Republic. We're looking at the main base of Team Liquid's very own SKillous. Also a manager. Not the same manager as Mana, but he's also a manager in his own right. Bottom left side of Old Republic, we are looking at the main base of our Italian. He's back in Europe, by the way, for some of you guys that like to keep track of that. Korea arc is in the past. He is now entering a neo stage of his life. For now in Italy, might continue to stay in Italy. You never really know with this young butterfly. Where is he going to spread his wings? We'll figure it out. I'll keep you guys up to date. But he's back in Europe. No more low FPS, no more internet issues. Maybe some, not as many. This is Reynor. Reynor tweeted out a League of Legends clip with a great move. I looked at it, I didn't really understand it. But his post or his tweet, whatever you call it, is actually doing really well. He's got like over 50,000 views. People are impressed by our boy making plays in League. Yeah, it should be an Italy arc. I wouldn't be surprised if Reynor will end up moving to a foreign country one more time, or many more times even, but I think he's got a pretty decent plan set for now. But, you know, he obviously enjoyed Korea. Korea is a beautiful country. It is lovely. It is fun, but I think at one point he just missed home a little bit, missed friends, missed family. And there's also a decent amount of events in Europe to still attend. Think of the Home Story Cups. Think of stuff like a Big Game Cup if you want to attend that. And the journey traveling from Central Europe to Korea these days is really rough. I've done it 3 times in the last year. Reynor has done it more than that. I don't know how he survived. Well, he's a bit younger than me. And he's a bit lighter than me. And he's a whole lot shorter than me, by the way. That's not a bit. It's a lot shorter than me. But even then, it's just a very, very exhausting journey. So I totally understand that he said, you know what? I'm done with these never-ending journeys. Let's go back to Europe and see what we can get done. And obviously, we're happy to see him back in Europe. Might stream on better times for us. Might just be happier. Might just get to see a bit more of him overall as a human. I mean, my trips to Asia were not for Basilisk. So, I can't. And Reynor. I mean, Basilisk will obviously pay tournament travel, but a lot of Reynor's travel was like, I'm going home for Christmas. That's not really on the team, right? Basilisk is very, very, very goated to us. But if we do things privately for our own entertainment, they're not stepping in to make our lives even better, which, you know, is pretty understandable. Like, Rotti, if you want to go to Korea and commentate some poker, good luck. But that's not on us. And of course, that's the way that it always should be. I was very disappointed last time I went to Korea, guys. The immigration queue was legit hell. They made me walk for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That was fine when I got off the plane. But it kind of felt that like 17 flights all led to this one passport control. And it was absolute chaos. There were like 15 different lines scattered across the hall that had at least 500 people. But I think it was probably over 1,000 people standing in it. It took me an hour and a half or 2 hours to get through. I'm like so not used to it. And a lot of other people said like, oh no, Korea is always bad. Those are not the memories that I have. Like Korea in the past was kind of chill. Maybe a couple minutes, but not 2 hours. I thought I landed in LAX for a split second. SKillous is the one who's going to be aggressive first as he sends the 2 adepts in and the Oracle. He kills 4 drones. It's obviously not too bad. Reynor won't be mega upset, but also will not be that happy because 4 drones is still a significant amount, even if you've killed the adepts. Didn't get the Fiji trip. I have never gone to Fiji now. Hello, Athena. Happy Thursday. Tomorrow, guys, we have another clan war. We are playing against not Jin Air, I believe. There is not Jinair and there is not CJ Entis in the league. Just some friends from the past playing together under the same umbrella. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is that we might kind of like go over the start of the BBB. I think it's personally worth to maybe finish the clan war and then just do the big brain bouts. Like if we start at 6 or 6:30, is that not that big of a deal. I think most people will obviously enjoy watching the Basilisk games going into a BBB evening. So that's my plan for tomorrow. We may start a little bit later, but we'll do big brain bouts, just so you know. Reynor's gonna have to pull the drones away, and he will pull the drones away. Reynor snipes the Oracle with his queen. That is lovely. Also activates the stasis trap with just a single. By the way, these links are a problem now, because SKillous lost the 2 adepts early on, lost the Oracle, has 1 Void Ray that's obviously looking for Overlords in the middle of nowhere. I feel like if those links would have made a dive, that would have been problematic for Nikita. It's double Stargate Fleet Beacon on the side of our Liquid Protoss. Well, Reynor is gearing up for a bit of a Lambo special. How many queens do we have? 6? The adept count, by the way, has gone up quite drastically. But since Reynor is building a lot of roaches, I'm not too worried about these adepts. I am kind of worried about Reynor attacking into a bunch of carriers when he only has like 6 queens if you don't have any carapace upgrades. SKillous can also go 2 carriers and then start building Tempest. Tempests are very strong defensively, and Tempests build a lot quicker than carriers. So that's maybe what I would do. You can obviously make carrier number 3 and 4 as well. We'll keep an eye on it. Obviously, SKillous is going to need some shield batteries. I don't know. I think it's doable for the men from Liquid. It's not going to be easy. Obviously, carriers need interceptors, and SKillous needs to be aware of what's happening. And the moment that he knows what's happening, maybe you build Void Rays, maybe you build Tempest. I personally think that carrier number 3 and 4, I think that takes a little bit too long. The 1 Void Ray, the activated prismatic alignment, he's not cancelling it. That's a big mistake on the side of SKillous, guys. Saw the 2 Overlords coming in, but lost the Void Ray in the middle of nowhere. Is now using the 2 carriers, but really not that much DPS. Reynor has a bit of creep to work with. Reynor should be able to keep the queens alive. The ground army of SKillous is obviously worthless. There's no other way to put it. It's 6 adepts without the resonating glaive. They won't do much. This may turn into one of these scenarios where SKillous loses everything over at the 3rd, but he does save the main and the natural. Yeah, 2 base carrier is not going to kill Reynor. 19 probes have already died. As we also had a tiny Dropper Lord in the natural. I completely missed it. The Reynor special, 8 links getting dropped into the natural. So it's not just all the probes dying over in the 3rd. It's also probes in the natural, in the main base at this point. And you guys can see how long it took to get carrier number 3 and 4 out. Like, they get out, but you've lost everything. And to be fair, I think even if you don't lose the probes in the natural, I think you're kind of cooked. When you lose that many pylons, you lose the battery, you lose the nexus. Especially after losing the Oracle early on and the Void Ray, I think we're just kind of cooked. Well done by Reynor. A strong, devastating timing. A Lambo special. Putting the queens in the German taxi. Speedy Dropper Lords. That's kind of all he wrote. SKillous is going to try to make magic happen. If... Did he lose a carrier? He did lose 1 carrier. Imagine if he didn't lose 1 carrier. And you would have 4 carriers with all their interceptors deployed, and you just reinforce it with Void Rays. Like, I like this Void Ray, even though I don't like flying it into 17 queens and a spore. There is a world where you could actually win, despite the fact you lost almost everything. With 4 carriers, all your interceptors deployed, +1 air weapons, and then either Phoenix or Void Ray reinforcements. But obviously, this is not that world. After we lost the carrier, and we lose our 2nd Void Ray for absolutely no reason. And we're losing even more probes at home. This is most certainly not the world. Safe to say, guys, that Basilisk and Goblin will improve to a 2-0 start. And this one was definitely a bit more convincing than the first one. The boys just needed me, guys. They needed the uncle, the old man, to return back to Europe. They needed to see me on Battlenet in these lobbies. Know that I'm out there. I mean, Trigger and Goblin were hot first play day. And of course, like Serral in the end did bring us home in the ace match. It was quite the sweat in the opening match. It wasn't, as I said before, it wasn't the kind of spread that was like, oh, if we lose this, we're not going to do well. I know that we're always going to do well. When you've got these amazing guys on the roster, it's always going to go well. But obviously, starting off with an L is never ideal. Fortunately, it was not an L in the end. SKillous has still managed to produce a few more Void Rays of a very crappy economy, but it is not going to be good enough. GG gets called. Reynor gets his first W in Season 10 of the WardiTV Team League. And we improved to 2-0. Let's go. I didn't really doubt either, but I wonder how this game goes. I mean, this is a lot of if, buts, and maybes, and it doesn't matter. But let's say that Oracle doesn't die, so that Oracle actually stays alive and can help out defensively. You don't lose the random Void Ray away from the two carriers, and then you don't lose the carrier that we end up losing against Queens or Corrosive Balls. There is a world where you kill everything as a Zerg over the third, but then you still die against two base Protoss. I have definitely won games like that in the past. Well, I'm like, I'm dead. But then I'm not dead because they can't really deal with the Skytos units. You should roll yourself out in 2v2. Obviously, if we are guaranteed to advance, I can play a 2v2. But I believe we're playing all the matches on Sunday. And this is really not the moment for me to make a 2v2 appearance. I would struggle, mate. I would struggle in every way, shape, or form. And we don't want that. And it's also, like, it's very important, I think, to respect every single match in the Team League. Because me randomly losing a 2v2 because, oh, it's so funny to see Rotti play, could have an impact on the seeding or even who advances if it gets very close between other teams, right? So I don't really want to do that. Just going to bring the A game. A game all the way. Who is fifth, guys? It is... No, this was fifth. So it's Goblin, Serral, Cure, Mana now. A little 2v2 action. Goblin... Wait. Goblin, Serral versus Cure, Mana. Goblin. The Croppy. I'm confused, by the way. Oh, sorry, I have to join the lobby. I'm delaying everything. Alright, let's just set it. Goblin. Serral. Cure, Mana. Best of one. I'm setting the prediction for you guys quickly. What I'm a little bit confused by is our first match was against the Balls, right? But Serral played 1v1, Reynor played 1v1, Goblin and Trigger. So was it a 4 and 2? What did we do this time? Trigger played twice. No, wait. So Trigger... Trigger playing twice. Kind of forgot about that. I don't even know if that was a glitch in the Matrix or not. I'm sure Goblin doesn't mind too much. But I believe that was not intentional. Maybe something went wrong with the seating. I mean, obviously Goblin is playing the 2v2 and he is playing 1v1 tomorrow. And he will play a bunch of 1v1s on Sunday, but... I'm like, wait a minute. Why haven't I seen Goblin play 1v1 yet? I wonder if we just made a mistake. I'm sure that Goblin saw the mistake and then just didn't say anything because he's like, yeah, I like it. No 1v1. Just enjoying the journey. Being part of BASILISK for the WardiTV Team League. Because that was definitely not my intention. But it doesn't matter. What matters is that we have won the clan war. That makes us very happy. Now the only question is, will it be 4-1 or will it be 4-2? Our final game already. Wardi has been powering through, by the way. This is Wardi's league. So Wardi's obviously in charge when we host the lobby, when the game starts. But he just started. Yeah, reminder. Thank you. Let me go ahead and remove this crap. You guys don't need to see me. There we go. Sorry about that. Alright, here we go. Last 1v1 of the clan war. I'm very happy with our 2-0 start in the league. Tomorrow at 4 PM CET, our journey continues, where we play against not Jinair. Here we go. Last 2v2. Let's have some fun. Top right side, it's the Liquid Boys. It's Cure and Mana. Bottom left side, the guys who have already collected the dub today. It is our Finnish phenom, Jona, Serral, and of course Goblin from Croatia. I haven't comment in the chat if you guys are confused about Goblin. When did Goblin join Basilisk? Goblin did not join Basilisk. He's just here to make sure that we don't have to ruin the competition by one of our guys not being available and having to send me. I obviously have played a couple of decent games in my life, but right now I'm nowhere near the level that I need to put on a good showing against these top tier dudes. And we don't want to find ourselves in a position of Reynor not having a working PC or Trigger traveling and then having to use me. So a lot of the teams in the WardiTV league are kind of made up, and we decided to just get one backup player and give him a fun journey and hopefully create a champion. It has always been my dream, not just to see Reynor win a championship or Clem when I was following them in the young, but Goblin as well. And Goblin's had a couple of good runs, but he has never been a true champ. And I hope we can change that here. It's kind of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation. And my wish was for Goblin to become a champ. And it also doesn't hurt that he's an absolutely amazing 2v2 player. So he's kind of doing us a solid here, but it's great to have Goblin on board for this journey. Hello, Nate. Nice to see you, matey. Elaser left Team Liquid, I believe, in October last year. There was an official statement in that regard. It was the same time as I believe Ben left Team Liquid. Ben as in the Muslim, Age of Empires, player, streamer, and of course SC2 legend. It was the same week. Team Liquid let go of a few fighting game players, they let go of Elaser, and they let go of Benny. I have no idea what you guys are talking about now, or why there is beef. I don't think there's any beef with Wardi. I don't know who's supposed to have beef with Wardi. Let's start with that. There's definitely no beef from any of the players' side or my side, but feel free to elaborate. Who's got beef with who? This is where we go full Jerry Springer mode. Jerry. It was more of a general question. But like, if you say, is there beef with Wardi? Like, who are you asking it about or for? Like, who should have beef with Wardi? Yeah, you can definitely snooze the ads, Allison. Erniak? I highly doubt Era has beef with Wardi. Era is a passion lord. I don't think anyone has beef with Wardi, mate. Our final 2v2. Obviously, the outcome of this Clamor has already been decided. But it will still be nice to see these guys battle it out. Stalker died against the lock-on, I believe, the Cyclone. 2v2 is very difficult to observe sometimes. There's so much chaos happening. As we have an Oracle flying into the main base of Goblin. Goblin was a bit out of position. This definitely hurts. A rough start for our boy Gubbis. I saw him warming up with some League of Legends today. But he's not the only member of Basilisk who does that, so that didn't scare me. This is a bit of a brutal start, guys, for our guys. Serral has decided to play a little different and go for a very quick lair with a very quick Spire. Spire is more than halfway done. I highly doubt that I punched the innocent. I think you're making it up. I refuse to believe that Nate doesn't like Wardi. That's definitely not what Nate said. So please stop this, mate. Stop making shit up because it's annoying and it's unfair. I rule this channel with an iron fist. Just like Serral is gonna try to rule the main base of Mana with a couple of Zerglings. Mana is gonna see it now. Does catch a glimpse there when he moves his Stalker. Does not have his shield battery yet, so this is somewhat painful. The Scout could be very useful here. It is very sad for Serral that he's making Mutalisk against triple Stargate Phoenix. If I was a Muta here, guys, you know what I would do? I'd be like, sorry, not today. I would fly into the corner of my main and surround my Mutalisk with Spore Crawlers. Like, these Mutas can never leave the halfway mark. If there was a 50-yard line here, in the spirit of the NFL, we have to always stay below the 50-yard line. Apparently, Serral does not agree. And Serral says, you know what? I'm still going to try to get lucky with the Mutas. Now, there is a bit of Stalker support, and he does find a Phoenix. You know, the Mutas getting a Phoenix kill before the Phoenixes would get a Muta kill was not on my bingo card. Are they 1-4? Because that's the score of the clan war. This is the first match that these two teams are playing against each other. But the overall score of the clan war is 4-1 in favor of Basilisk. This attack was a bit of a disaster, guys. It turns out Phoenixes are still very good against Mutas. Who could have thought? I'm wondering the moment we had the Lynx in the main base and we saw the Phoenix production, if it was worth it to cancel all the Mutas and go Corruptors immediately. But I guess Team Basilisk, the 2v2 team here, felt that we had to make something happen on the other side of the map, since Goblin took a lot of economic damage from the Oracle. It's looking very grim. Goblin trying to get active here with the Stalkers, but there's really not a whole lot he can get done. And the Phoenixes of Mana are just going to lift each and every single Stalker. Now the Corruptors are going to try to do their thing as well, and that has gone down a few Phoenixes. It's very nice Corruptor movement on the side of Serral. But I'm afraid that we don't have much of a ground army. And when I say we don't have much of a ground army, I feel like we don't have a ground army at all. Cure's army right now may very well be powerful enough to win 1v2. 37 guys with guns. Stim, combat shield, +1. And I don't see how we stop this. Thank the Lord I don't have to sweat the outcome of this clan war anymore. Serral had a truly magnificent hold in the previous 2v2 with all those links, the counterattack, that was next level. But I don't believe that even Serral can stop this. Just incredibly intimidating large Terran force that Cure has managed to produce in the first 8 minutes of Yellow Jacket. Phoenixes will get picked off by the Corruptors, but who really cares? There are still a bunch of guys with gun, low HP, high HP, it doesn't really matter. The DPS is still here. Serral is cranking out a few more links, but this one is gonna go in favor of Liquid. And that will do it for this clan war, this battle. Why is it so dark suddenly, guys? Why am I sitting in a cave? I shouldn't be sitting in a cave. GG's to Liquid. We do improve to 2-0. I'm very happy with that. I'm gonna see if I can turn on the light. I have one light here. I have another light somewhere. It got dark real quick. GG's, guys. Thank you, Wardi. Big shout out to Wardi for letting us join. Will give us some YouTube content. Me sitting in the rainbow. That's my light. That's my Rakakuni light. Beautiful. It can be anything though. It can be the Swarm. Can be Starlight. It's Vicky's creation. She made it for me a couple of years ago for my birthday. She just got like a Philips Hue light strip and put it around an IKEA lamp. Yeah, it's gonna look cool, guys. Give me 1 sec. Soon it's gonna look cool. Now it looks bad. Soon it looks cool. All right, we powered through that. That was a bit of a speed running session. Tomorrow, more clan war action, and we're looking forward to it. It's Basilisk versus No Ace Jinner. Tomorrow, Goblin will be playing a 1v1 as well, by the way. I really feel like that was supposed to happen today too, but I guess something went wrong. It's all good. It worked out. Strong showing by us means that we are now... Are we on top of the league? No, because we were actually always available, yet all of our matches are in the upcoming days. We have one match tomorrow, starting an hour and 15 minutes before the big brain bouts is supposed to start. So I'll just communicate that with the players and with Basilisk as well. What I can do is at least cast the clan war until there is a winner. Now, obviously, if it goes to the ace match, we are severely behind schedule, but I still think I should do both tomorrow. And I think you guys would agree. And I think Basilisk will agree. So our journey continues tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we've got a full day of games. I'm going to play the Platinum Heroes. We're going to play, if they are here, Exerditus. And then last but not least, we'll play against not CJ Entus to figure out where we finish in the group before we enter the playoffs. And that's obviously where things get really serious and hype and intense. So far, so good. Proud of the boys. Solid performance. GG's, guys. GG's, guys. Well done. We'll run it back tomorrow at 16:45. I'll double check with Wardi. Cool, cool, cool.